next things I want to talk about, drivers and carts. So there are the two main drivers, Yoel, and Dayan. But there was a change from last year. Each driver worked 24 hours straight. Then they had a couple days off. They had also two other drivers that worked during high season typically. Actually, one driver, high season. The other one I did see last year. I don't know his name. I don't know either of the two guys' names. But they do have a total of four of them, like I said, that rotated shifts to make it easier since they worked 24 hours straight. Then the next person would work 24 hours straight and so on and so forth. I do recognize the one guy from last year, as I said. The other guy, he actually told me he was actually seasonal, so he only came usually late in the fall to work during busy season, typically. Now, the first week I was there, unfortunately, Yoel, one of the main drivers, got very sick with that new Orapucci virus, and it shocked me and saddened me, because I only heard about it literally days before I left to come to Cuba. And unfortunately, this poor guy, who's already thin enough, ends up catching the bug. And for almost 3 weeks, well, the time I was there, the last 3 weeks, he wasn't working. I actually heard that from Dayan, that he got really sick. And yeah, when I left at the early into October, he ended up having at least another week of recuperation due to body weakness at this point still. Now, when I arrived, Yoel was the first person I saw. He comes straight to me. He saw me. He comes straight to me, puts his hand out. We handshake each other, and we, did a, friendly hug. And he's asking me how I'm doing. I'm asking him how he's doing. He's like, "Oh, it's awesome to see you, man." And I was able to tip him though. One thing I'm happy to say is he's one of the few that I was able to tip prior to him getting sick. So I'm glad I was able to do that. Thank you, God. I felt really bad that he left because of the sickness. Of course, he's the only one. I guess Dayan, there's been a couple days that Dayan was a little off. He said he wasn't feeling good, but he still was able to work. But he's in a lot better shape, I guess, physically. So he can handle it, I guess, physically. And I even said to him while finding out that Yoel was sick, man, somebody like Dayan, who has a larger build, he has the ability to lose some weight, whereas Yoel was skinny as skinny bones almost, man. He was so thin. Unfortunately, a poor guy, man. So anyway, I wasn't happy, and I was saddened for him. But at least he recuperated and got back to work after I left sometime. But of course, because of him being sick, the two other people, including Dayan, the three total people, they all covered him during his recuperation. Now, lastly, the cart situation is still about the same as last year. One cart that only works, and the other one though, we're on blocks next to the charging station in front of the lobby area, and I have no idea what is actually going on.
I want to talk about, as you can see here, this cart. What I'm going to be talking about is, so last year I had mentioned I wasn't sure what's going on with these carts. There was issues with the carts not breaking down. They were breaking down. There's damage to the carts. You can see this one does still look like the one that I had shown you in a previous video last year. This last year. This is the one I believe that was the most damaged. Now, it looks like they did do some fixing because for this resort. Now, the resort's not perfect by any means. Let's make that straight. One of the things is getting stuff into Cuba that take a lot of time. Now this one, look at this thing. This is beautiful, actually. I think this looks like some of the seats have been redone a little bit. Maybe that's, I'm not sure. Again, watch my head because the last time I hit my head. Yeah, so I think this might have been reupholstered potentially. I don't know. It does look like the front seats have been upholstered because they look brown, almost new. Almost new. Look at it. It looks nice and blue. Whereas, well, he sits there a lot, so it probably causes dirt when you're sitting a lot for. And this back one is a little bit dirty. Probably looks like a little bit of debris from nature. I know for a fact that, and in fact, I now do know, should I say, let me change that wording a little. I do know now for a fact that it takes them sometimes a very long time to get parts or certain items they order. For example, seats for the pool, like pool seats. It takes them 2 years to get sometimes, well, not everything that I know of, but pool seats took them 2 years to get. There was broken down carts. I know my first night, the guy actually just walked me to the room because of the fact that the vehicle he was driving, basically the battery died because he used it all day. Now, the other vehicle just doesn't work. Again, it could be a part thing that they're waiting for parts, or maybe a replacement. I don't know that part offhand.
With that, and when and if it will be fixed or replaced, which highly doubt it's being replaced if it's sitting on blocks. Because in the month I stayed, the single cart broke down several times. So I will assume that maybe that other cart, they're waiting for parts or something. Since it's sitting on blocks, they must be waiting for carts. And it between a year and a half wait so far, it's been sitting there. Or there's a new cart or two coming, maybe. I'm hoping, but it's hard to say what's happening with the cart sitting there. And one cart keeps breaking down. How many times already? So it kind of sucked that way. Kind of disappointing.